This video is for those of you who like trading strategies with a fixed set of trading rules, and for those of you who like to use Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands are one of the many indicators which we can apply to our charts, and I'm not going to go into the history of them or how they're calculated because, quite frankly, you don't need to know that in order to use them for this trading strategy. This strategy works on pound-yen Forex pair, and it works using the 2-hour time frame. As usual, I'll show you the basic entry and exit rules, and then we'll move across to multi-charts where I'll show you how I developed the idea in the first place. Then finally, I'll show you the backtest performance report using almost 15 years of past data. Let's first see how this strategy works. Here's a quick screenshot I've done of my chart, and we're going to be using, like I said, the 2-hour time frame. You can use candlesticks or you can use these regular bars like I've got. Now, find Bollinger Bands and put the Bollinger Bands on your chart, and then what we're looking for, here we can see we've got 2 closes above the upper band. So this first bar here is the first close. So the close was below the upper band, and then it closed up above the upper Bollinger Band. But not only that, the next bar has to also close above the upper Bollinger Band. When we see that, that's our signal to go long on the open of the next bar, and you can see it says buy there, and it's exactly the same for the short. You've guessed it, 2 closes below the lower band, so we got a close which was above the lower band, and then the first bar which closes below that lower band, then the second bar closes immediately after, is also below that lower band, then we go short on the open of the next bar. If we're still in a trade, if we're still in a long trade, and we get this signal, we exit the long trade, and then we open a new short position. We'll also be using a fixed pip stop loss and a fixed pip profit target, which we'll look at later too. Easy entry and exit signals to spot on the chart. I first tested out this strategy on just a portion of the backtesting data which I have available. As I was satisfied with how it performed, I then went on to do 2 different optimizations. One to find a good placement for the stop loss, and one for a profit target. As I already know this market and time frame quite well, I did already have a good idea what works, but it's always good to run an optimization just to make sure. I've created this quick illustration to show you the data set which I'm working with. I am currently using data from Oanda, and I have data from January 2008 through to November 2022, which is when I'm filming this. However, for the preliminary or the first testing that I'm going to do with this strategy, I'm only going to use a smaller portion of this data. I'm going to use this in-sample portion from 2012 to the end of 2018. I shall run the initial tests and see how the strategy performs. If it does show some promise, then I'll go on to run some optimizations on the stop loss and the profit target in the case of this strategy. Once I'm happy with the performance of the strategy on the in-sample data, I shall then apply the strategy to the full data set, including the earlier 4 years of what we call out-of-sample data and the later almost 4 years of out-of-sample data. If the strategy does really have some sort of an edge, and I haven't just managed to find something which fits the in-sample data set, then I will expect relatively similar performance on the out-of-sample data as I did with the in-sample data. Here's what the strategy looks like on the chart. And firstly, we're using 120-minute or 2-hour bars of pound yen, and we're looking from 2012, January 2012, to the end of 2018, and that's our in-sample data period. This is data from Oanda, and I have included some costs. I've included 2,000 per trade or 4,000 yen round trip. Let's have a look at the performance report of the baseline strategy. Making 7.8 million yen. That's what the equity curve looks like. 274 trades. We've got an average trade of 28,000, which is a decent size, especially as we've already included some costs as well. So the first optimization I want to run is looking at the stop loss value. I've already run that. You can see here, this is my input, my stop loss. 0 uses no stop loss. 0.25, that's equivalent to 25 pips. So we've gone from 25 pips through to 300 pips. And looking down the net profit, The best is 125 pips, a very good average trade there of almost 35,000 yen. And this is one of those occasions where a stop loss does actually improve the performance quite considerably of the strategy. This is the no stop loss, and this is the best. 125 pips is quite small. I might go slightly larger. Let's say use 150 pips. So we select that and see how that's altered our performance report. We already know we've got an average trade of 35,000, 299 trades, percent profitable. It's a low accuracy strategy because it's a trend following strategy. That's just the characteristics of trend following strategies. We know we're making 10.5 million yen, and that's what the equity curve looks like. It's had a really good period throughout the middle. It's a little bit flat recently, and it was definitely flat some of these earlier years, which is a shame, but it still shows some promise, I think. The next thing I want to do is look at having a profit target. And I've done that optimization here. My profit is the input, and I've gone from 0, we know, that's what we just seen, and I've gone all the way to 1,000 pips for a profit target. I don't often use fixed pip profit targets in my strategies, as you've probably seen, but in this case it does actually make sense, it does actually work. The best being, is it 900 pips, we're making 12.2 million yen, 39,000 average trade. But anything above 650 is an improvement over no profit target. I've decided to use 750 just because it's in a stable area, and 750, that gives us a theoretical 5-to-1 reward to risk ratio. Remember, we've got 150 pip stop loss and we're using a 750 pip profit target. So let's select that. The equity curve doesn't look too much different. We know we're making 12 million now. We're going to have a few more trades because some of the trades are going to be closed out earlier for a profit. Although that profit target will rarely be hit because we're still running the stop and reverse. You can see in the case of some of these trades, we've got a short trade here, we've gone short and we've exited because we've got a signal to go long, and we're nowhere near hitting that 750 pip profit target. In fact, I can show you the likelihood of the profit target being hit. If we look at this chart of the maximum adverse excursion, we can see that these green triangles are the winning trades, and you can see that they're kind of flatlined along the top here because it's at the profit level of 750 pips. And if we were to count all these green triangles or these trades up, we can see that there's far less of these than all of the other green triangles throughout this area. All of these green triangles represent winning trades, but only this smaller portion here represent the winning trades which hit that 750 pip profit target. The others, although they're winning trades, they would have come out of the trade earlier because they would have had an entry signal to go into the opposite direction and come out of the trade early. So now we've found our profit target and our stop loss, it's time to have a look at the full data set using the 8 years of out of sample data as well. Just before we check the strategy on the complete data set, which I have, if you like these fixed rule strategies, then you should probably download my 22-page Beat the Markets Strategy Guidebook. Use the link down in the description down below to get it completely free at the moment. And for those of you who want to take your trading to the next level, then you can enroll in my popular trading course, where you'll find a bunch more strategies, a little bit like the one that we're testing here today. You can find more information about that, again, down in the description down below. Now, let's go and have a look at the final version of this Bollinger Band strategy on the full data set. Here's the last workspace with the full data set. You can see now we're using data from 1st January 2008 through to the 1st of the 1st, 2023. We haven't got data through to 2023 because we've only got data up until the 4th of November 2022. So let's have a look at the performance report. We're making 21.1 million. There's the equity curve, which is quite a nice equity curve. And we can see that we're making new highs right up until recently. Look at the total trade analysis. Obviously, we've got way more trades because we've got more data. Percent profitable is down a little bit. Average trade is down a little bit, but still a very good, almost 30,000 yen per trade. Let's just look at the equity curve for the long, equity curve for short only. But overall, for such a basic strategy with some basic rules, we're just taking advantage of the trending behaviour of pound yen, and I think that's quite a nice looking equity curve. So there you have a Bollinger Band breakout strategy with a 5-to-1 reward to risk ratio and quite a decent proven backtest. Hopefully it will continue to work years into the future, but obviously nothing is guaranteed. The Bollinger Bands are useful in this strategy because they're quite easy to spot the trades when you put them on the chart. But I found that pound-yen forex pair trends so well that you can use many different indicators and essentially do the same job as what we're doing with the Bollinger Bands. So there's no magic indicator here in this strategy. We're simply identifying a strong push up or a strong push down and then taking advantage of the trending nature of this market. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then please give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe for more videos a little bit like this one. Thanks for staying to the end, and hopefully I'll see you next time. But until then, this is Jared Goodwin, and thank you.